We are live. We are live. I am your host, Mikey T, the movie star. I appreciate everybody tuning in live, and I definitely appreciate everybody tuning in on demand. Whenever you're watching this, you guys, whenever you're watching this, I appreciate y'all for tapping in. Guys, you're watching this, I appreciate y'all for tapping in. I appreciate y'all for tapping in. Let me just get all my audio levels situated. Cool. Guys, you're watching this. Yep. Excuse me. Sorry about that, you guys. Just getting the just getting situated. We got some shit to talk about tonight, though. My bad. Everybody's just blowing up my phone right now. We got some shit to talk about tonight, man. We got to talk about Chief Keef. We got to talk about Lil Durk. We got to talk about all this shit going on because Chief Keef is sounding, Soulja Boy is sounding off again. You know, we saw this a few years ago with Soulja Boy sounding off on the Migos and multiple other artists, but now he's actually going at a few artists that we saw him work with early in their career. A lot of the guys, you know what I'm saying? A lot of the guys actually know Chief Keef and Lil Durk for first working with Soulja Boy early on in their career. One of the first songs I heard from Soulja Boy that had a feature on it was actually Foreign Cars, a really dope song. There were rumors that Soulja Boy was actually, you know, there were rumors actually that Soulja Boy was supposed to actually do a joint project with Chief Keef at one point in time. You know, there were other rumors that, or not even rumors. Chief Keef had said in interviews, Chief Keef had literally said in interviews that he was going to sign with SODMG. You know, there was a lot of artists back then that ran around, you know, flaunting the SODMG name. Like, for instance, Famous Dex was another one of those artists who actually, you know, he was on the come up. He was grinding. He didn't really have that much clout. You know, he didn't really, not that clout was the word back then, but he didn't have that much brand recognition. And Soulja Boy gave him an opportunity. You know, from the looks of it, Soulja Boy sent him some bread. He told him he could rock with the name. And you know, their relationship just started from there. What's going on with you? I appreciate everybody for tapping in though tonight. Smoking on some kush to get this started. Drip. Come on, bro. Stop trying to take over the stream, bro. Chill out. Let things get started, man. But yeah, you know, it's pretty evident. Tyrese, what's popping with you, man? Big Draco. What's up, big bro? Big Draco be dragging it, man. He feels like they owe him something. They don't owe him shit. He feels like they owe him something. They don't owe him shit. You know, we've seen this out of Soulja Boy for, you know, quite a few years now, you guys. Soulja Boy's the type of artist actually, you know what I mean? Soulja Boy is actually the type of artist to call out people who, you know, who aren't really being receptive to his music. Look what just happened when he linked with Kanye West. Kanye West simply hit him up and said, yo, Soulja, send me a verse. Soulja Boy sent him a verse. Kanye really wasn't really messing with the verse, so he got rid of it. You know what I mean? He took it off the album. Got some other shit to talk about. Yep. Kodak Black reaching out to 50 Cent. Kodak Black seemingly trying to take his career in another direction. Hold on, let me just get everything situated here. Oh yeah, dudes. Oh my God, yo, come on, dude. Just stop writing all that nonsense in the chat, man. Jesus. Yo, what up, Pert Gambit? What's poppin'? Moss says that's highly disrespectful what Little Dirk is doing here. Yeah, we're gonna get into it all, man. We're gonna get into it all. We got a cool video to do tonight. Also, MEMO600 is getting dragged through the mud right now, through everybody. He's getting dragged through the mud by everybody. Zoo, BOOKA600. You know what I'm saying? So we got to talk about that as well. What up, Boom Mancini? I appreciate you for tapping in, man. Major salute. Major salute. Oh, excuse me, you guys. Just getting everything situated here. Perk says, nah, Soulja Boy is just whack. Don't nobody want him on the track. Don't nobody want him on the track. Excuse me, you guys. I'm just getting everything situated. Make sure you share this video. Damn, this spell cap shit is annoying as hell. Nah, I ain't smoking on no OG, bro. I'm smoking on some runts tonight, man. We can't really get no OG around here, to be honest with you, man. Nobody's had no OG in quite some time. And I don't really mess with the dispensary OG all that much, aside from the carts. Well, I want to talk about tonight how Soulja Boy actually wanted to sign Chief Keef. Chief Keef was talking about signing with Soulja Boy as well. I want to talk about that, but just give me a second here, you guys. Nice. Thank God. Finally. Sorry. Just the way that spelling and shit. Black truffles, never heard of it. Black truffles, never heard of it. I never seen nothing with the term black truffles in it, but yeah, man, I messed with the runts. I had to go back and get it. What up, James? What's popping with you? Yo, yo, Mikey T, what's popping? I'm smoking Kush, 716 Buffalo in this bitch. All right. Sipping on some Moet. All right. Bro, don't message me while I'm on a stream. What are you doing, dude? Just stop. You Gucci. But now you're just completely out of here. This guy's messaging me like, da da da, what state? Yo, chill out, man. We don't got time for that over here. Boom said, I'll send you some fire. Nah, I don't. Don't be sending me no fire through the mail. Don't be sending me no fire through the mail. I really don't want to accept it, just to be 100 with you. But who remembers Chief Keef signing to Interscope for $6 million? The deal was one of the best deals we had ever heard about back in 2012 when Chief Keef first got his signing. I mean, in recent reports, or not recent, but back then, Lil Durk got signed to Def Jam, and they had said things like, oh, Lil Durk didn't even get his advance from Def Jam at this point. Lil Durk's buzz wasn't as high as Chief Keef's. Lil Durk's level of awareness really wasn't there like Chief Keef's, you guys. Chief Keef actually had it all at that point. He had all the budgets. He seemingly had all the money. And that's why you got Lil Durk, who actually did work with Soulja Boy. Soulja Boy said he did the records for free. Soulja Boy said he did the records for free. Why? Because he realized who was an associate. He actually realized who was an associate of Chief Keef, and he worked with him accordingly. We've even seen videos circulating of Soulja Boy with Tato. You know what I mean? With Tato, a lot of the members of GBE actually would go on to do some things. Ball Out did a few things. I mean, I would have liked to seen them gone further. You know what I mean? But others just broke away from the group, like your SDs, the homie Fredo, rest in peace. He actually went on and was doing his own thing, started his own label. Yeah. Yep. Exactly, Perk. It's crazy though. Dirk passed him up. Dirk has actually passed them both up at this point, and that's why Soulja Boy is calling out for the record. One of the main things that Soulja Boy said, and we're going to get into it all tonight, so share this video, but one of the main things that Soulja Boy said is, you've got your deal now, and now you can't come back and do a record with me. First of all, the record that Soulja Boy did with Chief Keef, it was called Eater. It was called Eater. You know what I mean? It's nothing that was even on our radar. I witnessed Lil Durk go from nightclub to nightclub to nightclub in Miami pushing his record. You know what I mean? I was running around with some people that could get into all of those nightclubs. So I literally witnessed Lil Durk doing that. He was not playing Eater. He was not playing the Eater record with Soulja Boy at these nightclubs. You know what I mean? So, like, Soulja Boy did a record for Dirk, but sometimes bigger artists will do these completely throwaway joints. And kind of what Eater is, you guys. It's kind of what Eater is. It's not a record that we heard from Lil Durk ever that got on radio. It's not something that we say to ourselves when we're all talking about Lil Durk's career. We don't remember how Soulja Boy, the dude from Crank That and Kiss Me Through the Phone, jumped on Little Dirk's record. No, we remember foreign cars more than that. Why? Because Soulja Boy even went as far to shoot the video with Chief Keef. You know what I mean? But why was he doing that? Why was Soulja Boy actually recording so much with Chief Keef? A lot of people nowadays will say Chief Keef doesn't like to hang out with Soulja Boy. You know what I mean? The L's anthem was with French Montana. Yep, that's where you actually took notice of Dirk. Yep, that was one of the first time I noticed Little Dirk. Maybe it was when French did that L's remix with him, the L's anthem remix. Maybe that was Little Dirk had to work. Perk says because Sosa was hot. Little Dirk had to work 5 times as hard. You know what I mean? As Chief Keef to make sure that he got hot. Moss Music disagrees with you, Perk. He says he is hot. Well, right now, man, Moss, sorry to disagree with you, but right now, Chief Keef is actually lukewarm. You know what I mean? Right now, it's Little Durk's time. As I said yesterday on the stream, Little Durk actually moved. Little Durk actually moved double the amount of units. You know what I mean? He moved double the amount of units that Chief Keef did at the beginning of his career. Chief Keef's first numbers were 55,000. 55,000. Sorry. Chief Keef's numbers were 55,000. Damn, I just want to make sure I didn't open up another screen. My bad. Just trying to get everything situated here. Chief Keef's numbers were 55,000 and Little Durk just moved 120,000. So that's literally double, you guys. But yeah, the whole situation with Chief Keef actually looking to sign under SODMG. I mean, yeah, every artist will say that. You know what I mean? Every artist will say that they're going to sign with somebody, but then when a bigger deal comes into play, obviously they're going to take that deal, man. Obviously they're going to take that deal. I think we've seen things like this happen in the past. I mean, shit. Young Jeezy was attempting to sign Soulja Boy as well. You know what I mean? But when he got a bigger deal, you know what I'm saying? Like, it takes me back to this conversation that we've heard so many times of Chief Keef, or no, excuse me, Suge Knight bringing Juvenile out to California. We've heard the story so many times about Juvenile getting flown out to Cali for a meeting with Suge Knight, and Young Buck was there, right? Young Buck was actually there, and that's where all the controversial issues come from of Juvenile allegedly leaving out on them and shit. Juvenile left out, and I do believe after that he re-signed with Cash Money. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes artists or sometimes actors or sometimes whoever, they'll take meetings with other people in order to build an interest in them, to get somebody else to throw some money into the pot, to start a bidding war. You know what I'm saying? So looking at that situation back then, and comparing it to what happened in more recent time, when Soulja Boy brought Chief Keef to the table, or he brought him to the world, Interscope realized who he was. Interscope was like, yo, we want to mess with this guy, but we don't want to have too many cooks in the kitchen, as they say. We don't want to have too many hands in the pot. And that's why I think they offered Chief Keef the deal that they offered him. They got him. They gave him a deal that included something with some headphones, I guess. They gave him a 3-album deal, of which he only did 1 album. I want to say it was a 3-album deal. They gave all types of people in his crew money. They gave him enough money so that the crew would get paid. I remember reading something about Fredo getting some bread out of that deal as well, man. I'm actually already rolled up, man. I rolled up a little bit before the show. I got a little bit of runts on deck tonight. Got the runts on deck tonight, man. You know, a couple different things to talk about, man. Soldier Boy just went absolutely ape shit. He went ape shit again. He went in on the whole industry again. Soldier Boy has done this in the past, you guys. Soldier Boy has actually done this in the past before, if you don't remember. At one point, he actually tried to tell Quavo to come to his house. You know what I mean? At one point, he actually tried to tell Quavo to come to his house. He dropped the location. Soldier Boy was going through some things, man. Yo, 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 Mars. Appreciate you for tapping in tonight, bro. Major salute on the continued support, man. Double G in the building. Double G, what's popping, man? Yeah. Yeah, man. But you know, this whole situation, it goes back a little bit further. It goes back a little bit further because Soldier Boy's talking about all the artists he met, the Migos, Rich the Kid, Famous Dex, Chief Keef, Lil Durk. There's more than that. Chief Keef is talking about Chief Keef. All these artists are getting called out by Soldier Boy because he didn't do the golden thing. Soldier Boy did not sign any of these artists to SODMG. When he brings up Riff Raff, I remember a video where he put a chain around Riff Raff's neck. It was a black SODMG chain. Why was he not signed to the label? Look what Soldier Boy is continuing these mistakes. Soldier Boy is continuing these mistakes currently. Look what he did. He brought Skinny from the Nine to his crib. He put a chain on him. He has Skinny from the Nine running all over the country, but no paperwork. A lot of record labels will do this, though. You know what I mean? A lot of labels will sign artists or say they're rocking with the label, but then never actually do paperwork with them. You know, they want to wait. They want to see if the buzz really gets there. Now, Soldier Boy's situation with Chief Keef, it was a little bit different. We all know Soldier didn't give Chief Keef his initial buzz, but once Chief Keef got that buzz, he went and put his next plan into motion, which was to capture a lot of the fans that Soldier Boy had. So he went and worked with him. Um, they did Foreign Cars. They filmed a video. Chief Keef continued to get his buzz up. Foreign Cars was actually not featured on the Finally Rich album. On Finally Rich, Chief Keef had just about everybody on the album, not Lil Durk. He had Lil Reese on the album, but not Lil Durk, you guys. He had Rick Ross. He had French Montana. He had Young Jeezy. Let me know who I'm missing. I feel like I'm missing one of the major features from Chief Keef's solo debut album. Moss, Riff Raff was another artist that Chief Keef, that Soldier Boy initially put on. Soldier Boy, you know, put on Riff Raff originally too. That was one of the ones where I was like, all right, you're reaching a little bit there, Soldier. You're reaching a little bit there because Riff Raff did not technically blow up. You know what I'm saying? But I see what he means. I see what he means. And I remember that being a part of history because I remember being in Trinidad and actually with my guy Six Lord and showing him Riff Raff videos. And we was just laughing our asses off to it one night in the hotel and shit like that. So, and I remember Soldier Boy put the chain around Riff Raff's neck. So that's another artist. And I was just sort of comparing that to how he then put chain around several other people's necks, but did not sign them to deals. Yeah, Double G and Riff Raff actually ended up signing to Diplo. You know what I'm saying? He went on to sign to Diplo. So Riff Raff went on to sign a very lucrative deal that Soldier Boy could have been a part of. Like, are you kidding me right now? Are you kidding me right now? Let's be real. Let's be 100% real with this situation, man. Soulja Boy could have signed Riff Raff for $250,000 and then got a management fee, SODMG management. He could have got a management fee and then actually got a percentage of that deal. Is this man not on the ball? Okay, you got Travis Scott sleeping on your couch. You got the Migos in your crib. Travis Scott and Quavo went on to create an album together. You would have had a cut of that. Your Soulja was missing out on so much money here, man. Mars says true. Soulja didn't want to pay them taxes. Paying the taxes on signing, yeah, $250,000 signing or something like that. Oh shit, Double G says I used to do promotion for Riff Raff back in the day. LOL before all that. Back when he was on that midnight, he was a midnight rider, a midnight trapper, or something like that. I remember one song. T2, I appreciate you for tapping in, man. Yep. Yeah, Moss. Soulja Boy could have signed uh Soulja Boy could have signed Chief Keef and then got a percentage of that $6 million deal with Interscope, but he didn't end up doing that. You know what I mean? He didn't end up doing that. Soulja Boy missed out on signing these major artists. He missed out on a bunch of different opportunities. Sort of like how when Lil Durk at the beginning of his career was rocking with French Montana. You know what I mean? See what's going on in the chat. My bad, y'all. What's poppin', Speed Dollars? Salute to you, bro. Double G says, how do you think promoters find new faces? It's through people like you. You're like an A&R for YouTube. Yeah, Double G. And also it's through the other talent. You know what I mean? That's why after Chief Keef, blew up, you had so many different labels not only looking at Chief Keef, but they were looking a little bit deeper than that. They were looking at his friends. They were looking at his associates. They're like, oh shit, who's that guy right there that we could sign behind him? Def Jam did a lot, I guess you could say, to actually start off the beginning stages of Lil Durk. Because at the beginning, a lot of us knew of him actually being signed. A lot of us actually knew of Lil Durk being signed at Def Jam. And if you're signed at Def Jam, that's going to give you like instant credibility. Perk. I remember Fat Joe and a couple other artists said they passed on Nelly. Yeah, Fat Joe has a lot of different interviews where he spoke on passing up on Eminem in the past. He not only once, I guess he said he passed up on Eminem like 6 times, 5 times or something like that. Kind of crazy, but I mean, I remember Drake even talking about getting passed up on. Major artists actually getting passed up on for who have gone on to become major celebrities. Look at the Game. Why wouldn't Puffy sign the Game to Bad Boy back in the day? All right, my bad, y'all. Um, yeah, I remember actually Soldier Boy talking about that, or a couple different people missed out on Young Boy though, man. You know, a couple people missed out on Young Boy. I remember maybe it was, I guess, Soldier Boy. He was on the Breakfast Club or something like that, and he showed a DM from Young Boy, and I don't know, I don't really know what to say about that. You know what I mean? When you're talking about that later in life and you're like, Jesus, there's a $10 million missed text message, you know. NBA Youngboy is arguably, you know, number 4, number 3 in the game right now. I thought I had heard that about somebody else though with Youngboy, but I just seen actually that was the case with Youngboy and Soldier Boy. Major salute. Moss, I think Moss is calling me out saying, stop lying like you wouldn't sign with Soldier Boy. Stop lying like you wouldn't sign with I think he was saying, "Hey man, Soldier Boy, as long as Soldier Boy was trying to do a real contract, y'all, you know, not just trying to put the chain on me and tell me I could act like I was a part of SODMG until shit popped off, because that's what a lot of the times that's what they want to do. You know what I mean? That's what they want to do a lot of the time. They want, okay, just take the chain, go do your thing until everything pops off. And nah, that's not how we're rolling here. I'm gonna need my advance. I'm gonna need my contract, my advance, and I'm gonna need my directive. What are we doing here as a part of the group? Oh, I'm giving you the chain so you can go record a couple mixtapes. Whatever, man. Darren Hall, what's popping with you, man? I'm gonna put up a poll right now, you guys. I'm gonna put up a poll. Biggest artist. All right, y'all. I'm putting up a poll right now. I want to know who is the biggest artist that Soldier Boy missed out on signing. I've got 4 different answers in the chat. I want to know what y'all think, man. Let me know who is the biggest artist that Soldier Boy missed out on signing. Is it the Migos? Is it Travis Scott? Is it Chief Keef and Lil Durk? Or is it Rich the Kid? I want to know what y'all think, man. Let's see. Apparently John hasn't seen any interviews where Soldier Boy spoke on getting Chief Keef his deal at Interscope Records. I'm not the one who needs to go do my research. This shit is my life. I live and breathe this shit, you guys. I watch this every day. Hip hop is like my ESPN. You know what I'm saying? Hip hop is my ESPN. I wake up, I look at the numbers. You know what I'm saying? But shit, it was interesting looking at BOOKA600's Instagram, or his Twitter, I should say, because he was giving me the numbers of the new 7220 album, you guys. Dirk's new album has sold 202,000 copies. 202,000 copies, you guys, in 2 short weeks, 14 days. So let's do our numbers now, man. Lil Durk's last album, The Voice, in 8 short days, it actually moved 89,000 units. And now in 14 days, Lil Durk has moved 202,000 units, you guys. In his second week, Book actually posted it. The second week sales for Lil Durk 7220 album are 81,000, y'all. 81,000 units first week for Lil Durk. I got to send a major congrats to Lil Durk on those numbers, man, because 81,000 second week, that's literally what his last album moved in 8 days. It's 7,000 removed from that, but it's literally the same amount of units, you guys. Just give me a second here. Just doing a little late promotion on the joint. Sorry, y'all, just doing a little late promo. John, Young Boy, his last album moved 79,000 first week, Colors, and the album before that, Sincerely Control, moved 137,000 units first week. So Lil Durk has not reached that level, not reached that height, but he's on his way. He's actually making achievements in each album, man. Moss says, "Yo, Mikey T, not to take you off the subject, but when did Eminem get signed?" Eminem got signed in like 1999, 2000, somewhere along those lines. Somewhere along those lines. Yeah, the Slim Shady LP was actually released in 1999. You know, early that year. So he was actually probably signed in 1998. Nah, he wasn't. He wasn't in his 30s at that point. What up, Bones? Appreciate you for tapping in. You probably saw it. I mean, I know I woke up and saw it. Soulja Boy was going back in on Chief Keef, and he was going back in on Lil Durk. He was going back in on the Migos. You know what I mean? But it kind of reminded me of when he actually spoke on the Interscope deal that Chief Keef got. The Interscope deal when Soulja Boy was actually supposed to be the one to sign Chief Keef. Soulja Boy was actually supposed to be the one to sign Chief Keef, but that's why I put up this poll for anybody just tapping in. Who is the biggest artist that Soulja Boy has missed the opportunity to sign? I want to know, what do you guys think? Is it the Migos? As he said, he was the first one to work with the Migos. Is it Travis Scott? Travis Scott slept at his house. Oh, no. Correction. Travis Scott slept on his couch. I let you sleep at my house. Correction. I let your ass sleep on the couch. That's some shit right there. It just makes me think, you know what I mean? Like how much of an opportunity Soulja Boy missed. The fact that he had, Huncho Jack in his house. You know what I'm saying? He had Cactus Jack. He had Huncho Jack. The album sold 99,000 copies first week, Soulja. You're like the Joker. You're burning money. Chief Keef and Lil Durk. I put Chief Keef and Lil Durk together. Because they're both from Chicago. And I wrote Rich the Kid. Soulja Boy actually big upped Rich the Kid. He big up Rich the Kid. He big up Soulja Boy as well. I mean, he bigged up Chief Keef as well, saying that both of them are the only two artists to actually only work with them after they sign the deal. Chief Keef doesn't really have a major deal right now, I think he could have signed Roddy Ricch too. Do you mean Famous Dexberg? He also said Mozzie, though, as well. Mozzie, who just signed to Yo Gotti. You know what I mean? Also, he says he could have signed NBA YoungBoy. Soulja Boy could have had the hottest label in the game. But you know what, man? You know what? When Soulja Boy was building up Chief Keef, when he was building up Chief Keef, he actually did himself dirty because his own label, who he was kind of cold on that label at that point, you know what I mean? He was kind of cold after the DeAndre Way album came out and didn't do too well. You know what I'm saying? His third album. He was a little bit cold, you guys. So Chief Keef Soulja Boy went back to the streets to a certain extent. He went back to the streets. He went back, or the SoundCloud rap division, whatever you want to say. He went back to working with people who, were going to make noise. Some people that could keep him alive. Sort of like what Drake does to a certain way, how Drake breathes life into other artists. You know what I'm saying? Soulja Boy was kind of doing it so he could have some life breathed into him, So he went and he worked with all these guys, man. Boom says, do you think if YB had promotion, he would have sold more? Well, I think the issue with YB's album Colors, or the project, however you want to refer to it, I think the issue with that is that it came out so close to Sincerely Contrell. That's what I think the issue was, you guys. I think he released 2 albums within a 6-month time period. What do you expect? There's a lot of people out there still purchasing the Sincerely Contrell album that you released while you were incarcerated. It went to number 1. It sold 137,000 copies first week. I think releasing the Colors project at the end of January, when he had just released a project in September, I think ultimately that's why the sales weren't as big. I think he just had a little bit too much product out there. You know what I mean? Sometimes you could just give a little bit too much to the consumer where they're not going to get to it right away, or they might even find a free way to listen to it, or they're not streaming it as much as they were streaming the last one. Any of these things could play a factor in it. Mars, you actually agree with that? Because that's kind of my theory, man. I think he released it a little bit soon. And then he put out the new project with the baby, and it only sold 35,000 copies first week. Like, whoa, you got to be kidding me. You got to do a little bit more preparation for the timing of these releases. Like, all right, you got an album with the baby now. Make that a summer album. Make that your album for this summer. Come out with a couple videos that are, triggered to a summer audience, and you got a winner with the baby. Give the people a little bit of time to breathe. We just got 2 projects from NBA Youngboy within a 6-month time frame, and now we've got 3 within a 9-month time frame. It's just a little bit too much. Off topic, but someone who knows talent is Gucci Mane. Gucci Mane has this same issue though, Perk. Gucci Mane, to me, seemingly didn't sign the artist the right way. For Soulja Boy to be doing all this complaining about, oh, you didn't work with me after you released Bad and Bougie. And that's not literally what he said, but that's what he means. You didn't work with me after you blew up and got famous and, become known as Cactus Jack. Like these guys, the biggest rappers, these are the coolest rappers in the game right now. Now, one of the homies in the chat said, Mikey T, you would probably sign the Soulja Boy. Okay, yeah, definitely. You know what I mean? Who the hell wouldn't sign the Soulja Boy if he's going to put 100 bands in front of your face? You know what I'm saying? Call it SODMG TV. You know what I mean? Call me SODMG Mikey T. Soulja Boy needs to sign a podcaster. You know what I mean? I think I would probably be the best thing smoking on his label, to be 100% honest with you guys. But Iceberg points out something, a very big factor right here. An artist managing another artist is usually never a good idea. Respectfully, SODMG needs a dedicated talent team, not Soulja directly dealing with anybody. Yeah. And that's why Gucci Mane and Soulja Boy, to me, are in the same boat. They've had so many artists under them. Gucci Mane, you could just name them off. Rich Homie Quan, Young Thug, Future. You know what I mean? He had all the Migos. He had all these guys right under him. He did some deals with them. Uh, Scooter. He did some deals with them, but he didn't lock them into deals to create a major record label. And that's where their fault is. That's where their fault lies. As I was saying, Chief Keef and Soulja Boy were building. They were hanging out together. You could obviously tell Soulja Boy had been much further in the game and had a lot more money, but you were like, yo, damn, Chief Keef is that dope new rich kid in the game. You know what I mean? The Chief Keef couldn't be denied. So he pretty much took the buzz. You know what I mean? When you get to what I was getting on, when you get to the Soulja Boy part of the song, you might shut it off. You know what I'm saying? Because this is where I was kind of getting to. You know what I mean? Yeah, I would sign to Soulja Boy, but if I'm an artist, do I want him on every track? If I'm an artist, do I even want him on a track in general? I mean, the guy is known, he's known for a lot different music than any of these other artists that we have listed, you guys. When we're talking about Rich the Kid, we're talking about Plug Walk. You want to be around that guy. I want to, you know what I mean? I want to plug walk with Rich the Kid. I want to run around with the Migos. Offset is cool as hell. You know what I mean? I want to run around with Takeoff. You know what I'm saying? I want to run around and get lit with Takeoff to the point that I get left off bad and bougie. You know what I'm saying? I want to rock with Travis Scott and the Kardashians. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of these artists, they give off an aura that you want to be around. Soulja Boy? He made Kiss Me Through the Phone? Crank That? Do I really want to do I really want to do all that with Soulja Boy in my blog? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. And I'm just keeping it real when I say that. But yeah, I'm just keeping it real. Would I sign to Soulja Boy if I was an artist? Sure. Now, as a podcaster, do I want Soulja Boy around? Absolutely. I want him on every podcast. I sort of want him to pop up like 50 Cent would back in the This Is 50 days when Jack Thriller was interviewing an interesting enough person and 50 would pop in. You know what I mean? But if I'm an artist, I would rather be around the Lil Durks and the Chief Keefs, you know what I mean? And the Migos rather than be around the Soulja Boy. You know what I mean? Just image wise. Yup. Future and Scooter. Future and Scooter, man. We haven't seen Scooter popping too much on the scene since he had the Columbia record. Since he kind of didn't sign with anybody, I believe. I believe he didn't end up signing with anybody. I think that was the issue. Like he should have signed with Birdman when he had the opportunity. I can remember going to nightclubs. I would go to Club Live. We would all leave through the back door. Young Scooter and Birdman would get in the drop top Maybach and they would leave. You know what I mean? Like I literally witnessed that shit. We would all leave the club at the same time at like 5:00 in the morning. Detail, what's popping with your G's? Joseph says, best thing to come out of O Block, Chief Keef. I'm kind of wondering, did Interscope sign the wrong artist? When they got Chief Keef, should they have actually been looking at Lil Durk? I know at the time Lil Durk's music was not the same. Lil Durk's music, he had to change his music a little bit to get where he's at. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of the times when an artist changes his music, you can hate it or you can love it. I think it's more on the level of the Lloyd Banks 50 Cent line. Switch the style up, and if they hate, then let them hate, but watch the money pile up. And that's what I think we got with Lil Durk. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people could have laughed at Ja Rule for taking the route that he took after he was pictured with Jay-Z and DMX looking hard as hell, looking like they was fitting to be the murderers. You know what I mean? Irv Gotti and shit. But then he came up with Lil Mo and you know what I'm saying? And started to do the shit with Chuck B. Moore and all that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you got to read into shit. Sometimes you got to look into shit a little bit differently and realize that artists are just trying to find themselves and find what works for them, man. Boom says Soulja Boy can't rap in 2022. And that's exactly why he got cut off the Kanye West album. I guess it was the Donda 1 album. I guess there's a Donda 2 out now. Ye hasn't sent me my stem player yet. So if Ye wants to send me a stem player, I mean, it is what it is, but I haven't got it yet. Major salute. IMP Black, yo, major salute, bro. We're going to get into Soulja Boy's rant, but I kind of wanted to talk about Chief Keef getting the deal with Interscope under Soulja's nose. You know what I mean? Soulja could have signed Chief Keef. Soulja could have signed Chief Keef. He could have got what, a manager percentage, 10%, 20% even. A lot of the times the guys get 20%. So when they get that when they get that $2 million deal, they get 100. You know what I'm saying? They get 100,000 off of each million. They be doing that shit smart. Or what is it? What is that? Actually, what would 20% be off of 2 million, you guys? 20% off of 1 million would be 200,000, right? Yami says crazy how Chief Keef minds his business, but yet he still get drags. Can't live in peace. Well, I mean, shit. When somebody does something for you, Yami, they naturally want to brag about it. But Soulja Boy in this case, it's like, bro, you lost out on your situation. If you would have just signed Chief Keef for $500,000, which you probably couldn't have done. You probably couldn't have done that. Yep. 400,000 on the 2 million. Yep, detail. Yep. But let's be honest, I think Chief Keef was really just using Soulja Boy for a little bit of leverage back then, to get a little bit more leverage in the game, because Chief Keef didn't even feature Soulja Boy on his album. He actually didn't even feature Soulja Boy on his album. So that said a lot to me back in 2012. You know what I mean? I sort of was like, because I was under the impression they was about to do the damn thing together. Just like when Chief Keef was rocking with Gucci Mane. I guess I was kind of like I was in fanboy mode or something. You know what I mean? Because when Chief Keef started rocking with Gucci Mane, I was like, oh shit. Oh shit, it's 1017. But isn't it Interscope? Doesn't Chief Keef already have his deal? Like, I'm thinking back to the Game and 50 Cent. Like, why would Chief Keef allow somebody else to get their hand in, a piece of the pie? Like, so I'm thinking back to the Game situation with 50, with the Game, his pie getting split between Dre, 50, you know what I mean? Jimmy Iovine, all these people splitting a piece of the Game's pie. So I'm kind of thinking, why would Chief Keef want to add 1017 to the label? And obviously, that's what Interscope was thinking, because Soulja Boy has come out on several interviews, not the one he did today. In the one he did today, he shouted out Chief Keef. Why? Because Chief Keef is about the only one of those artists on the list that will work with him. So he's not going to disparage the name of Chief Keef. You know what I mean? Yeah, boom. I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. At that time, when Interscope grabbed Chief Keef, Little Durk wasn't ready. Little Dirk was not ready at that point. Yep, you're 100% right, boom. He just wasn't all the way there as an artist. Even when he came together with Def Jam, it wasn't there. What up, Eric? I appreciate you for tapping in. Appreciate everybody for tapping in tonight. We got some shit to talk about, man. So BOOKA600 actually gave a report on Little Durk's album. He said in week 2, it sold 81,000 units, you guys. So the 7220 album actually has sold 202,000 units in 2 short weeks. This is the best numbers that we've had for Dirk since his career has begun, y'all. 202,000 units in a short week. Major units, man. So Booker posted a couple messages on his Twitter that a lot of people are speculating about. He said, I had somebody tell me clout chasing is they hustle. So I'm kind of wondering who's Booka talking about? There's a it's not as cut and it's not easily as cut and dry as you think. You know what I mean? It's not just Memo600. A lot of people are saying, okay, it could be Memo600. I mean, Memo has a lot of different shit that he does on the internet nowadays. The whole shit with Whack 100, the whole drama with Chief Keef, all of that shit could be considered clout chasing, but could he be talking about THF Zoo? Could he be talking about Zoo, you guys? Because Zoo, like, he's going off on Instagram Live on Memo600. Now, we don't know the background of these guys. And my apologies to the homie that was in the live earlier. If I disrespected you, man, let me know and I'll unblock you, man. All good, Mooney. All good, Moody. I wouldn't sign with Draco. Moody says, you're hilarious, Moody. Mart says, Mikey T, Memo on some other shit. Yeah, I will say this. Memo, a couple weeks ago, I go on Memo's live, or not even 10 days ago, 7 days ago, I go on Memo's live. 250, 260 people there. I go on Memo's live 2 days ago. I go on Memo's live earlier the other day, and 900 people, 800 people on his live video, you guys. Right now, everybody wants to hear what Memo600 has to say. Memo600, when he goes on these live, he's using it as an opportunity to showcase his music. He's using it as an opportunity to let people hear him rap. More people are looking at Memo600 than ever right now, you guys. More people are looking at Memo600 than ever right now. So he's doing the right thing. When you got the attention of the people, how about you show them your material? How about you show them the work that you can do? How about you show them what character traits you actually possess? So I got to say, Memo's doing the right thing. I'm not too sure if his chain got snatched. I'm not too sure if that's a replica chain that they have. I don't want to put it past anybody. That could be the real chain. You know what I mean? Zoo's in there and the guys are flexing the chain. Looks shiny as hell. But you know what I'm saying? It could be one of them little $200 spots where they just went and bought a chain just to stunt on the internet and make him look really bad. Perk Gambit says Memo is actually making good music. So right now, with 985 people tuning into his live video, rather than jump on there and say, yo, I got my chain snatched. I got this and that happened to me, da, 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 bing in the third. Rather than do all that and then everybody gets the story and they leave, how about you draw it out a little bit? You know what I'm saying? How about you draw the situation out a little bit? Make people wonder. Make people hear your music and then make them say, hey, I don't even give a damn about that situation. I actually mess with this Memo dude. That's how you market yourself properly. I hope Memo does this whole thing right because right now he's got all the attention on him. He took a major, major slang from Whack 100 a few weeks ago with the whole shit, but he's got the attention back on him now. Whether the people are just there to hear him talk about the chain or not, we'll have to wait and see if he can hold that attention. So Booka says, I had somebody tell me that clout chasing is they hustle. I'm just saying it could be either one of these guys. We don't know the private conversations that Booka has had with Memo in the past, where Memo has said something about, if Memo said something about, Instagram posts or, just posting in general, or if Zoo, who I'm just really hearing of after this chain snatching shit, is using this as a measure of getting clout. So I don't really know who they're talking about in this situation, but I'm not going to put it past that it could be either of them, or it could just be a lyric. So he said, I'm grown as hell. Oh yeah. All right. So this one, everyone directed that it was right at MEMO600, and I'm just wondering why would this be at MEMO600? A lot of people have been saying that Memo signed back to OTF. Then they're saying Dirk dropped him. Now they're saying he got his chain snatched. And usually when a rapper get his chain snatched, they get dropped by the label. I mean, we saw it happen with Meek Mill. He dropped somebody from DC just for getting their chain snatched or their watch taken. Kind of crazy, right? You go through a crazy situation to where it's a life or death situation, right? And somebody's going to take your jewelry. And then not only do you have to worry about losing the jewelry, but now you got to worry about losing your record deal. I'm about to light this runts back up, though. Gonna get to so Memo actually said, I'll smack the F out of you. I'll smack the F out of you. I'm grown as hell. All the we gang shit is dead. I'll smack the hell out of you. BOOKA right now is being given a major opportunity from Lil Durk, a major opportunity that he can't take lightly. Even on $1 million worth of game, Lil Durk introduced BOOKA. But I'm talking about more than that. Like on his Instagram, just like how we saw King Von pushing Muwap, just like how we saw Lil Durk pushing King Von. Dirk is giving BOOKA the same opportunity. That's why he's taking this attitude, I got to imagine, of being grown as hell. That's some of the shit that we actually remember Chief Keef saying, I'm grown as hell. You know what I mean? When they're obviously not really that grown. But shit, I remember back in the day, I was told sometimes you got to grow up early, and I was told that when I was 16 years old. So I want to talk about THF Zoo actually going off on MEMO600, you guys. You ran. I'll leak the footage. So since this whole incident with MEMO600, his clout is really going up, as I said. I was looking at his IG videos, like I was saying to all of you, and a lot of people, are waiting on his response. They're waiting on his response. That's the only thing I can imagine because his numbers have jumped up drastically. Joseph, smoking on that runts tonight, brother. And I got some of this on deck. The Irish Cannonball. Got the runts on deck. Oh yeah, man. Everything's good today, man. Yeah, it's me. Soulja Boy, I saw him this morning going off. I was like, here he goes. I'm like, why has he got to be mentioning Lil Durk's name? Why has he got to be mentioning Famous Dex's name and Migos' name and Rich the Kid and Chief Keef? And he actually said, we'll get into it, but he actually said he has worked with Chief Keef and he has worked with Rich the Kid on Rick and Morty. But I seem to remember, and I think a lot of you guys remember, and if you didn't, Soulja Boy said he was going to sign Chief Keef at first. Chief Keef, even in an interview, said he was going to sign to SODMG. Interscope beat him to the punch. Sorry. If Soulja Boy wants to sign me, he's like, yo, Mikey T, I want to bring you on. Mikey T, the movie star, SODMG. I'm going to give you $1 million deal. I'm like, yo, $1 million deal? That's lit. Let's do it. Is that $1 million after taxes, though? Like it's $1 million after taxes, right? Because I need $1 million. I need to be on my 50 Cent shit. Like Em and Dre gave me $1 million, baby. So Soulja's like, yeah, it'll be $1 million, Mikey T. I'm like, straight. So then Soulja gives me a chain and shit like that, and I'm stunting for the week. You know what I mean? I'm stunting for the whole week. And then Interscope catches wind of me. You know what I mean? I'm stunting for the week, shooting videos. I'm linking up with Moneybag Yo, doing a feature. And then Interscope catches wind of me. They're like, yo, we heard Soulja Boy wants to sign you. Yeah. Soulja Boy's, I'm clout chasing at that point when Interscope reaches out. Soulja Boy is about to sign me for 2.5 million, baby. 2.5 million. And a Lamborghini. He said he's throwing in the Lamborghini. Don't ask me. He said he's throwing it in. And he already gave me the chain. So they're like, boom, we'll give you $4 million. And I'm like, oh, boom, Soulja Boy didn't even do no contract with me at this point. You know what I'm saying? He done left me paying for all my own shit. I had to pay for my own videographer to shoot the Moneybag Yo video. I had to drive my whole posse to Tennessee, Nashville, you know what I'm saying? To go link with Moneybag Yo. You know what I'm saying? That's what SODMG is supposed to be doing as the independent portion of the label, as the management portion of the label. Yeah, so that's just kind of how I feel about it right there. But so Zoo went off on MEMO600, just getting back into that. Not my $4 million deal. But I'm gonna need another story. So Zoo continued. He said, "Tell Memo to bring his ass in here." He was referring to the Instagram live video. Since he wants to get up on the internet and put the internet into the street business. This has nothing to do with your block. You ain't from 600, clown. So now they're going as far. Now they're going as far to say that he's not even from 600. You know what I'm saying? Now they're going as far to say he's not even from 600. Zoo actually taking it to that level. Even later on here, calling him out by his government name. Young Buck ain't even know he was supposed to pay taxes. Yeah, that's why I was saying my $1 million deal, it's got to be $1 million after taxes, right? But then Interscope came and gave me, if another label came and gave me $4 million, obviously I'm not signing for $1 million anymore. Just saying. What up, Buffalo Daquan? Appreciate you for tapping in, man. Major salute to everybody tapping in. Vote in the live poll right now, you guys. Everybody vote in the poll. The biggest artist Soulja Boy missed out on signing. Who was it, you guys? Was it the Migos? Was it Travis Scott? Was it Chief Keef and Lil Durk? Or was it Rich the Kid? Now, come on, y'all. Don't be hating on Rich the Kid. He just dropped Plug Walk, which is arguably the best song out of any of these guys. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I guess probably y'all maybe like Bad and Bougie or the Migos have a shitload of dope records, man. Do you realize how many plaques Soulja Boy would have had if he would have signed the Migos? Like, bro. So tell the truth. Zoo went on. He said, "Tell the truth. I'm still in the A. I'm still in the A. Pop out, Memo. I bet you ain't coming outside. You want to go on YouTube so bad. We don't do that, goofy. You get on this internet and play, trying to keep your name. Trying to keep your name. Well, now that he has a name, he definitely wants to keep it. Because I'll tell you, man, I didn't know about Memo a while back. You know what I mean? I didn't know about Memo a while back. I can't front. This is like the new class of Chicago. Your Moo-Wops, hope he gets out of jail. You know what I mean? Your Memos, your Bookas, you know what I mean? These are the new class of Chicago right here. So Memo is trying to keep his name. Memo almost went as far to get Whack 100 as his manager. He's trying to progress. He's trying to follow in the footsteps. He's trying to take a path that not many other from Chicago have successfully taken. I mean, we've seen a lot of other artists faced with various roadblocks. You know what I mean? A lot of the artists that were under GBE, you know what I mean, have not taken off. You know, a lot of the artists, man. So I can't fault MEMO600 for what he's doing, going on Instagram and promoting his music when everybody wants to hear about the stupid beef. You know what I mean? He's gonna stay away from it a little bit. Maybe when Academics hits up MEMO600 to come on For the Record, he'll address it. But at this point, when he goes on his Instagram and he's able to get 1,000 people in the room, I got a feeling there's no point in him actually talking about it there. Why? So everybody can rip it from his Instagram and put it on their social media? No. Leave it for Memo to actually go. Leave it for Memo to actually go on to For the Record, or maybe even No Jumper, or probably not Drink Champs, but something like that. No Jumper. Don't know if Vlad would do an interview with him. You know what I'm saying? Oh my God. Well, go talk about it on your YouTube then, bro. Dude's trying to tell me what I can and cannot talk about. We talk about all hip hop news on this channel, you guys. I've actually interviewed Lil Durk. Hold on 1 second. 1 second. One second, you guys. Let me show y'all something.
Lil Durk on rock with Mikey T, the movie star. You already know you're rocking, man. 300.
How do you like that, bro? Let's take a look.
Lil Durk on rock with Mikey T, the movie star. You already know you're rocking, man. 300. Lil Durk on rock with Mikey T, the movie star. You already know you're rocking, man. 300. Lil Durk on rock with Mikey T, the movie star. You already know you're rocking, man. 300.
So, you know what I mean? I've actually been one of the bloggers out there that have interviewed Lil Durk, to be 100% honest with you.
Lil Durk on rock with Mikey T, the movie star. You already know you're rocking, man. 300. Lil Durk on rock with Mikey T, the movie star. You already know you're rocking, man. 300.
That ain't no cameo, you guys. That ain't no cameo. I've actually interviewed Lil Durk on multiple occasions. I've actually interviewed Lil Durk on multiple occasions, you guys. Let me see. Where's the other shit right here? Let me see it. Trying to find this other shit for y'all. Why they hating on MEMO600? Bro, I don't even know why I don't even know why they ran up on MEMO600, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? Aside from the fact that Memo be getting on the internet and he be talking about all types of crazy shit, like like the episode that he had with Chief Keef. I don't know if you guys remember that episode that he actually had with Chief Keef, but he basically said that him and Chief Keef got into some crazy activity together and that Chief Keef was acting like a baby. Trying to find this other joint for y'all, but I can't find it right now. Trying to find it. I just can't find it. Oh, here we go. Oh, there we go. It's right there.
You see my nigga Dirk?
Like, you know, he turned to fuck up, man. 2014. Top of the year, rocking out with all real niggas. Coke Boy OTF.
Yeah.
Shout out my nigga Money King. Y'all know he rocking, man.
You know what I'm saying? Shot Town.
Real niggas for life. You already know I be rocking. Shout out Rondo, New, French.
Paranoid.
Hey,
you know what I'm saying?
World Star be taking over 2014, man. Just remember I said that. Real nigga shit.
You know what I'm saying? We just did the Paranoid remix video. My nigga Dirk, Rose, Puff, Jada. You know what I'm saying?
Turning up.
My nigga Meek was in the building. Khaled. You know what I'm saying? We out here, man. Young niggas be getting it. You know what I'm saying? Fat shout out to your baby moms. Fuck with her for sure.
Hey, shout out for
You know
Trump
what
too,
I'm saying?
man. Hey, just remember this interview when I said we gonna be on top, feel me?
Mikey T, the porno star, my motherfucking nigga.
Real nigga.
Shout out my nigga Mikey T, the movie star. You know what I'm saying? We come from the bottom. My niggas with me in the projects. My first video, he came out shot in the projects with me.
Salute.
Killers.
Real crack. No, I'm just playing.
He came out shot in the projects with me.
Salute.
Killers.
Real crack. No, I'm just playing.
What the hell, Dirk? The hell, Dirk? Too funny. I'm gonna have to send that shit to World Star tomorrow because that was actually on World Star back in the day when I shot the Paranoid remix video shoot when it was French Montana and Rick Ross and all those guys and shit. But yeah, man, so I filmed a couple different times with Lil Durk and shit. Really, really chill dude, man. Really chill dude. But let me get back into it, man. Let me see what I got here. So Zoo actually said he had what went down with MEMO600 recorded. He said, I got this in 4K. Everything that went down. The world is going to see. Since you want to play on this internet, I'll leak this. No funds needed. I got it in 4K. I'll embarrass you. This has nothing to do with 600. This is so he's not involving anybody else. This is just for MEMO600, man. He's saying this is just to do with MEMO600, you guys. So there's a couple different guys going at Memo right now. You got Zoo, you got BOOKA, you know what I'm saying? You got BOOKA, who is basically the new artist of Lil Durk. He's next in line. BOOKA not mentioning MEMO600 by name, though. Why? Because this dude's about to be lit. BOOKA's about to be lit. And you even got a lot of people like my guy Perk. You know what I mean? You got my guy Perk Gambit in there saying that MEMO600 is good. MEMO600 is starting to get a little bit of steam. I'm not really too sure with what's going on. All Pro, do you know what's going on with MEMO600's label situation? I keep hearing he's with him, he's not with him, he's with him, he's not with him. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so now we'll get into the Soulja Boy portion of this. Hold on one second. That might be a little. Nope, we're gonna get into the Soulja Boy portion of it. Basically, Zoo said he had it recorded and everything like that. They have it in 4K. All right. 4K is not really gonna matter because honestly, a lot of people's computer or their phones aren't even gonna be able to handle 4K. To be honest with you, man. So not really sure the 4K capability matters. I mean, when you're going on the computer, a lot of the time, some people are even watching in 720 some of the times, you know what I mean? Watching in 4K is kind of like a privilege, is all I'm saying. So when I woke up, Soulja Boy was on the gram saying, who am I going to sign today? Who am I going to sign today? Soulja, when you say you're going to sign somebody, you really got to sign them, bro. You can't just go around and keep on saying you're going to sign this guy and sign that guy. And then when they blow up, you start saying, hey, man, I said I wanted to sign you when you weren't shit. I said I wanted to sign you back then. Do a song with me. It doesn't really work like that, Soulja Boy. You know what I mean? You kind of got to ink the paperwork. Like the whole thing about Soulja Boy saying Chief Keef got signed to Interscope behind his back. The whole thing of him actually saying that, it's like, dude, if you would have signed Chief Keef, you would have got a piece of that deal. You know what I'm saying? Chief Keef signing with Interscope, you could have technically spearheaded that and got Interscope to cough up $10 million. You could have made a 5-album deal for $10 million or 4-album deal for $10 million, whatever you wanted to do. You could have been like, this is my Lloyd Banks. You guys remember 50 Cent and Lloyd Banks? Jimmy, you remember 50 and Lloyd Banks? This is my Lloyd Banks. Soulja Boy could have legitimately did that. But now he's just on the internet talking about the Interscope deal that Chief Keef got. And now he's back talking again because Chief Keef stopped. You know what I mean? Chief Keef stopped to a certain extent. He was like, yo, I'm going to chill out. People think I'm crazy. I'm calling out the Migos to come to my house to box. I'm getting locked up. You know what I mean? Like, so he chilled out. But now maybe he feels the clout sort of starting to go away. So now he's going to start pushing to that. Or maybe he's off probation. Or maybe he's, you know what I mean? Maybe he's off having to check in every month. And he just feels like he could go batshit crazy again. What it actually is, I don't know. You know what I mean? We're all artists. We all do shit for certain reasons. Soulja Boy is just like in the position where if he says somebody's name, it goes out there all over the internet. You know, if he doesn't, nobody really cares. So Soulja Boy is like, I always work with artists before they pop off. Look at the Migos. Look at me and Rich the Kid. Look at me and Mozzie. Look at me and Little B. Look at me and Riff Raff. Look at me and Famous Dex. So right there, when I heard Soulja Boy saying that this morning, I was rolling up a blunt. I was rolling up a blunt of some Irish Cannonball. Yep, right here, the Irish Cannonball. I was rolling up a blunt of some of the Irish Cannonball. I wanted to try something a little bit different. You know what I mean? This shit is really good, man. This shit is really good. I wanted to try something a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? So I rolled this up and I decided to listen to me a little Soulja Boy. You know what I mean? Soulja Boy's kind of entertaining. I really think he could use somebody like me to be his lead podcaster, though, you know, to run his news network, but to each his own. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing my thing over here. I'm the Max B of the blogs. You know what I mean? I'm over here doing my thing. Not quite as popular as Jimmy and all them, but I'm doing my thing. Mikey T, what's good, man? Memo is having a rough year. Facts. Well, Sean, Memo is having a very noticeable year. This year is the year that I'm actually coming into real knowledge of who he is. So if I am, that means tens of thousands of people are on the internet, and that is good for him. Right now, we're all learning to pronounce his name. We're learning his music. We're seeing who he is as a person. You know what I mean? We're actually seeing who he literally is when he, you know, jumps on the gram, like who the hell, what he looks like and shit like that. My bad, Chicago. My fault on that. I had apologized. You might not have been here, but I apologize. You might not have been in here. I had apologized though, man. Was that you, Drip? Yo, 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 what's popping, man? Appreciate you guys for tapping in. We're actually just getting to the Soulja Boy portion of this. Soulja went on. He said, "You know how many people I worked with before they got popping? I'm always doing songs with people before they get signed. Look at me and Lil Durk. I was on Lil Durk's first mixtape. Look at me and Chief Keef." But then he said it again. Look at me and Lil Durk. And I addressed it a little bit earlier. Chief Keef, Lil Durk actually put Soulja Boy on a song on his mixtape. It's called The Eater. You know what I mean? Nothing that we really know from Lil Durk, to be all honest, unless anybody in the chat's actually heard of it. You know what I mean? But I most certainly have not. You know what I'm saying? I most certainly have not heard of that song. But, you know, Soulja Boy said he's always doing songs with people before they get signed. Now, is that convenient for you, Soulja Boy? Because you don't have to get it signed off on? You know what I mean? Because you can just release it as your own. I mean, we hear all the time about artists working with people who aren't signed and then they just take the songs and run with it and shit like that. You know, but I don't think he would do that to Chief Keef, to be honest with you. You don't be messing around with Chief Keef like that. Are you talking about Gucci Man, Mel? You talking about Gucci Man? Yeah. Didn't I say him? Because I said Rich Homie Quan, Young Thug, because later on, Birdman had Rich Homie Quan and Young Thug, and they were both caught up in solo deals. But I don't get why Birdman didn't try to get them as a duo. If that would have been possible, that would have been Birdman's best bet, because we've seen Young Thug go on to release numerous albums. And at the beginning of his career, Young Thug was not selling the most units. He was selling 30,000, 30,000, 30,000, 27,000. You know what I'm saying? That's why yesterday when I was on the stream, I said Gunna is definitely more popular than Young Thug at the beginning of his career for sure. Might catch slack for that, whatever, man. It's just the truthful opinion. Wagwan, 99th Goats, salute, Schizo, salute. Chicago's own royalty, Soulja Boy, needs help. He's crying for help. Well, that's kind of what he usually does after a certain point of time. You know what I mean? Ooh, shit. Maybach says, no, Soulja Boy had a chance to sign Young Thug, and he didn't. Big facts. Yeah, he also said he had the chance to sign NBA Youngboy, who apparently had wrote his DM. He apparently had wrote his DM and was like, yo, mess with me. I'm the hottest new upcoming rapper, this, that, and the third. But you guys, the hottest rapper doesn't want to hear that. The hottest rapper doesn't want to hear that shit. Let's just be 100% honest. Let's be real with it. The hottest rapper in the game does not want to get a message from the hottest rapper in the game like, yo, I'm the hottest rapper in the game, this, that, and the third. Sometimes egos don't want to take that shit. You know what I mean? Sometimes rappers' egos don't want to take that shit. It's evident that Soulja Boy never signed any of these guys, even though he had a record label. I don't get it. I don't get it. You know what I mean? He had Arab signed, but I believe Arab was more signed as a producer. You know what I'm saying? East Cleveland, salute to East Cleveland. Wow. Moody says if Draco really fumbled that Young Thug contract, he effing sucks. East Cleveland in the building. Well, he fumbled a lot of contracts, GG. Apparently, he's admitting it here when he said that he said, look at me and Rich the Kid, look at me and Mozzie, look at me and Little B, look at me and Riff Raff, look at me and Famous Dex, look at me and the Migos, literally calling them all out. Now, if we look at that list, I guess you could say Rich the Kid has had a couple big singles. I don't believe his last album did as good as the prior album. Little B never really took off like that, aside from on the independent circuit. Famous Dex has been going through all types of problems. So that list isn't really all the way together there. 1, 2, 3. 3 of the artists that he named, 4, even if you consider Rich the Kid, you know what I mean, haven't really. So Soulja continued on. He said, you know how many people I've worked with before they got popping? I'm always doing songs with people before they get signed. Look at me, Lil Durk. I was on Lil Durk's first mixtape. Look at me and Chief Keef. Look at me and Lil Durk. Soulja lashed out. I do songs with all these guys before they get famous. And once they get famous, I can't get a song no more. But when y'all were in the hood and nobody knew who you were, I was doing songs with y'all. Soulja Boy went crazy on this shit, y'all. Soulja wasn't hesitant to name the names. Like I said, he said Chief Keef, Lil Durk, Migos, Famous Dex, Rich the Kid. Only person I did a song with now before he got famous is Rich the Kid. Rich the Kid signed his deal, and we did Rick and Morty remix and Chief Keef. Now, Chief Keef is a little bit different, you guys. Chief Keef is a little bit different because let's be real, man. Chief Keef was only signed to Interscope for a short period of time. You know what I mean? Chief Keef didn't really take off on Interscope, even in the same way. Well, I'm not going to say that because I got to say Love Sosa was probably much bigger than Plug Walk. You know what I mean? But Soulja Boy's success was so limited after that. I mean, excuse me. Chief Keef's success was so limited after that happened, you guys. He really didn't have much of a career after that happened. Yeah, he really didn't have much of a career after that happened, to be 100% honest with you guys. And that's why I want to say, he actually, you know what I mean? That's why I want to say he actually went back and worked with Soulja Boy. You know what I mean? He really didn't have anything to lose, you know? So now that Lil Durk has the #1 album, you guys, it really doesn't make sense to me. You know, now Soulja Boy wants to bring up the past. Like, would Soulja Boy wake up on the wrong side of the bed or something like that? I mean, it is like 11 o'clock in the morning and shit on the East Coast. So Soulja Boy is literally up doing this at like 8 o'clock in the morning, West Coast time, maybe even earlier than that. Right. And now it's low key salty. They blew up. Salute to Brownsville. Major salute. Major love to Brownsville on the tap in. I'm about to roll me up some more runts. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Fresh seal, you guys. Not even broken. Seal's not even broken. Not doing the cannonball. Not doing. Do I got 2 cannonballs? Hold. Okay, this one's empty. This one's empty. Maybe I gotta break the seal. Nope, here we go. Here's some runs right here. I just don't get why Soulja Boy would come out and try to, you know, expose all of these relationships that he has. The hell, SFC 415 smoking on banana pudding, y'all. Smoking on banana pudding. Salute, man. Banana pudding. That's crazy. Yeah, I just seen Cookies had a new strand actually called Flan. So they got a couple crazy ass new strands that I'd like to try. Whose lyric is that? Is that a Drake lyric, Stallone? Is that actually a Drake lyric? Let me get some of this runts up, man. Let me get some of this runts rolled up. That's that good shit right there, man. I really can't believe that Chief Keef, Lil Durk, and the Migos were really under the wrath of Soulja Boy this morning. Like, what the hell was Soulja Boy thinking, man? I mean, I was just honestly, I knew it had to come. I knew it had to happen again. I knew Soulja Boy was gonna do it again, you guys. I literally knew Soulja Boy was gonna, you know, get unraveled once again. But I didn't think he would go back after Quavo and all them, man. You know, I didn't think he would go back after Quavo and all them, but it seems like he really wants a single with them and shit. It really seems like he just wants a single or something, so that's why he's going to continue to do this. CT3 says Soulja was bigger than all of these guys at his peak. Well, let's be honest, CT3, because I was breaking this down a little bit ago. You know, at Soulja Boy's peak, I still don't think he's as cool as any of these other artists that we're talking about. You know what I mean? He's not as cool as Chief Keef in his peak. Soulja Boy's peak, he's a dude wearing long ass t-shirts, on MTV or on Nickelodeon, excuse me. He's more of like a family friendly type of rapper like that. He's not as cool as the Migos. You know what I mean? He's not as cool as Chief Keef. He's not as cool. He's not as cool as Little Dirk. Like if we're being 100% honest, like I would rather be hanging out with NBA YoungBoy and Little Dirk and Chief Keef than hanging out with Soulja Boy with the guy with he has the sunglasses where it says Soulja Boy on the sunglasses. Are you kidding me? He has writing on his sunglasses? No. I'm hanging out with 300, man. So that's why I'm gonna say in regard to that. That's what I'm gonna say in regard to that. Chief Keef, Soulja Boy, maybe he had sold more records than them at his peak. You know what I'm saying? But he definitely wasn't as cool as these guys. Oh, SPL Mafia agrees with me on that. I appreciate that, bro. I definitely appreciate that when the people understand where I'm coming from with the shit. That's hilarious. Moody, what's up, brother? Appreciate you for tapping in tonight. I'm on O Block, not riding with Soulja Boy and his sidekick cell phone. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, P Money. Appreciate you for tapping in. Yeah, man. The Migos worked with Soulja Boy, but right now it's not in the Migos' best interest. It's not really in the Migos' best interest to work with Soulja Boy. They've acquired such a level of fame that it would kind of make them look crazy. You know what I mean? Sort of like it didn't really make French look crazy to go and do the Make It Clap. What's that record that he did with him? I think Make It Clap, right? They did the remix or something like that. It didn't make French look too crazy going and doing that remix with Soulja Boy. If anything, that was Soulja Boy like finding a way to get some relevance. And I gotta say, I respect it, man. Soulja Boy knows who to work with. Wasn't my favorite French Montana shit though. It wasn't in his best interest either, though. Yeah, sometimes when an artist will go to work with somebody else, it'll be to, get a top selling record, a Billboard charting record, like Nicki Minaj working with 6ix9ine or working with Doja Cat or now working with Coi Leray. You know what I mean? She's doing this to get a little bit of interest generated in her upcoming album. So, yeah, it works like that sometimes. Nah, Mafia, nah, SPL. Yeah, I never come on here and say anything aside from what I've seen, play out in front of my eyes. You know what I mean? I actually was down in Miami when the Migos were first getting started. A lot of people didn't think that they were going to blow up. A lot of people weren't even taking them serious. But if you guys haven't voted in the chat, vote right now. There's a poll up, you guys. I want to know who is the biggest artist that Soulja Boy missed out on signing. Who was it? Was it the Migos? Was it Travis Scott? Was it Chief Keef and Lil Durk? Or was it Rich the Kid? I want to know who is the biggest artist that Soulja Boy missed out on signing. This guy would have the biggest label. SODMG would be as big as Def Jam if this guy signed everybody that he says he could have signed. If he flipped every million, if he flipped every million he could have, this guy would have turned each million into 10 or more. So he really kind of dropped the ball as far as when it came to signing artists. But maybe I guess he was on the Eazy-E shit. You know what I mean? A lot of artists be on the Eazy-E shit where they don't necessarily believe in the artist. You know what I mean? Where they don't necessarily believe in the artist, where they don't necessarily Dre and Cube, I don't know if they're necessarily going to be that big, so I'm not going to sign them. Dre and Cube went on to become worth $1 billion each. $1 billion each. You know what I mean? Like, you can't be afraid to sign these artists. You can't be afraid to take these chances. It's like we've heard, never mind heard, we've seen Diddy sign multiple artists, and we've seen a lot of them fail. We've seen Dre sign many artists. We hear about him signing many artists, and a lot of them never even come out. You know what I'm saying? So we have seen and heard about artists flopping. We've even seen, I think we've even seen artists come out with videos that never even got to drop albums. Yeah. Cadillac Ta, when he got the Pop City. He got the Pop City music video, and then they actually canceled the album. Yeah, we see that shit all the time. I think Black Child as well dropped a video with Ashanti, Make Up to Break Up. Moody says, you can't have a record label and worry about not being the biggest artist at the same time. Yeah, that's how, kind of like I was saying, like when Soulja Boy would get a message from, like, say, an NBA YoungBoy, and NBA YoungBoy is unknown. You know what I mean? So it's not like this guy has a record popping out in the clubs and then he's like, yo, sign me. And then the guy's like, oh shit, I just heard that guy's record in the club already, so it's a no-brainer to sign him. You usually don't get an opportunity like that, first of all. You know what I mean? You've got to be ahead of the curve. You know what I mean? You got to be, or else you're not going to get that opportunity. Once somebody starts buzzing, it's like I was talking about earlier. Once Chief Keef started buzzing, it was a no-brainer for Interscope to sign him. You know what I mean? So you really got to be ahead of them. You got to be ahead of everybody. You got to be willing to take that chance, or else you're not going to be able to reap the benefits, because they're going to be like, you didn't take an opportunity on me. You didn't believe in me. You didn't want to risk $100,000 to make sure, to make sure that my career was going to go somewhere. Yep, the Pop City joint, which actually ended up on the I believe they made it work. You know what I mean? It ended up on the Fast and the Furious soundtrack, I want to say. Unless that was just a totally different song, which would be dope. Which would be dope for my homie Cadillac Ta if he got another record placed. But I think it was one. But I seem to remember two different videos. Maybe that was just a different Ja Rule video that they had filmed for it as well. Let's see, about to roll up some more runts, you guys. Don't ever smoke runts as quickly as me. It's not good. Don't smoke runts as quickly as I do, you guys. It's not good for your pockets, really. It's like, you should really be more considerate when smoking runts. And plus, it's such a fine chronic. It's like, why would you burn it so quickly? You know what I mean? I was just, sorry, guys. I was thinking in my head of how quick I'm going to burn that next eighth of runts that I have that's not even open. I'm going to smoke the hell out of that. Moody! Hell yeah, you already know, bro. Podcast life, bro. Podcast life, bro. When I get my deal, we're going to have a podcast situation where I'm allowed to smoke inside. First of all, when I sign my deal, I'm going to need to be able to smoke inside. So put that on the list. Rallo said when he signs his deal, he wants $250,000 in blues in the front seat of a Phantom. Hint, hint. But yeah, man, Soulja Boy goes in on the Migos, and honestly, man, I I was shocked that he said names because usually Soulja Boy wouldn't say names, you guys. I watched Soulja Boy on live. You know, I watched him on live, and usually he doesn't say names anymore. And this time he just came out with it. He said, I always work with an artist before they pop off. Look at me and the Migos. Look at me and Rich the Kid. Look at me and Mozzie. Look at me and Little B. Look at me and Riff Raff. Look at me and Famous Dex. You know how many people I worked with before they got popping? I'm always doing songs with people before they get signed. Look at me and Lil Durk. I was on Lil Durk's first mixtape. Look at me and Chief Keef. Look at me and Lil Durk. So this morning, Soulja Boy just didn't care. You know what I mean? It's got to be in connection with Lil Durk's album doing so well. Like I said, Lil Durk's album right now, as BOOKA posted on his Twitter, 202,000 units in 2 weeks. 202,000 units sold in 2 short weeks, you guys. I wish, bro. I wish I had some wax, bro, but nah, I don't really be buying that. I really just stick to flour, man. I usually just stick to flour, to be honest with you. And when I say usually, you see what I got behind me. That's what I like to do other than smoke. A little champagne. But that's pretty much it for me, man. Some good-ass chronic and some champagne. Yeah, man. Soulja Boy went off this morning. Honestly, man, with everything going on with BOOKA600 and MEMO600, you know, I knew I had to talk about that just because everyone's been going in on that guy, Memo. You know what I mean? But like I said, Memo's been reaping some of the benefits of it. He's been reaping some of the benefits of it as well. So you can't really hate on Memo. He's doing some smart things, but he never locked in the management as far as I know. As far as we know, I mean, he could have. Maybe he did because he was being circled by WAC 100 at a certain point for management. Maybe not, but I mean, WAC did say he was going to put him on a tour with Blueface. Could have been bullshit, but I mean, shit. For someone to say that, it's like that's consideration. Like that's something to do right there. That's a way to generate some income. All right, let me get this run slid up. I want to do some open questions. If anybody has any questions, this is the time. Anybody has any questions about the Migos, about Lil Durk? Anybody want to ask any questions about what we've been speaking about tonight? The floor is yours. Dot Low King, salute, salute. It's a Dutch. It's a Dutch. Let's get this thing smoked up. All right, you guys, if you haven't voted in the poll, vote right now. The biggest artist that Soulja Boy missed out on signing, the Migos right now have 32%. They are in second place. Travis Scott is in 28%. Chief Keef and Lil Durk are leading right now, you guys, with 38%. And wow, Rich the Kid only has 3%. Shit's crazy. Question: what city sound do you think will pop next as far as relevancy? As far as relevancy, what sound is going to pop? Well, evidently right now it's Memphis's turn. You know what I mean? Memphis. So I guess you could really already say Memphis is there. Memphis, Atlanta, Florida, all these spots are really there. Chicago, California, New York. Dot Low says it. Philly. Philly's got to be next. Philly's got to be well, Philly's really always popping, man. to be honest with you, man. I just hope Leaf Ward gets his just due. Right now, the $1 million worth of game podcast is becoming one of the biggest things in the whole music industry. So Philly is really getting their just due right now. If anybody has any open questions, the time is yours. I'm going to take some open questions to end out the live podcast tonight, man. Definitely enjoyed tonight's show, man. Soulja Boy was talking some crazy shit this morning, so obviously we had to come on and talk about it. You know, we never really talk about Soulja Boy on the show, but I wanted to speak about it. I wanted to speak about some of the other shit that Soulja Boy had done, you know, as far as some of these artists that he could have signed that he missed the opportunity to sign. You know what I mean? He missed out on signing some of these guys, y'all. Moss, what's up, bro? What's up, bro? Yeah, let's take some open questions tonight. If anybody wants to ask anything, open questions. The segment is right now. It's funny. Yeah, I really couldn't believe he said all those names tonight, though, or this morning. Because, yo, like, Soulja Boy really has been good about that lately. Like, he legitimately has been good about that shit lately. Oh, there was one more thing I wanted to talk about, you guys. It was actually Kodak Black. Kodak Black reaching out to 50 Cent. So I'm going to put up another poll. Let's do another poll. I'm going to end this poll. It looks like Chief Keef and Lil Durk are first, followed by the Migos. I'm going to end this poll. I'm going to start a new poll, you guys, because I want to know. I want to know, what do you guys think? Will 50 Cent work with Kodak Black on films? Kodak Black has asked for 50 Cent to help him on films. I want to ask you all in the chat, and I'm going to ask you in a poll. All right, I'm putting up the poll right now, you guys. I'm putting up the poll right now, you guys. So I want everybody to go check it out. Before we get into open questions, my bad, I forgot there was this topic I wanted to touch on. Kodak Black has actually called out to 50 Cent and Tyler Perry. Apparently, Kodak Black has some very interesting scripts, you guys. Apparently, Kodak Black has some interesting scripts. So I'm asking you guys, will 50 Cent work with Kodak Black on films? Yes, no, or sign him to G Unit? Let me know what you guys think in the poll. Oh, P Money. I never saw that. I never saw much more than one episode of that, to be real with you. I only saw a little bit of one episode. I did not keep in track with it. But Kodak Black, he wrote a message on his Instagram. He said, I got movies ideas. He said, I got movie ideas I want to pitch to Tyler Perry or 50 Cent. If you know me and can see me past the internet antics, then you know that I'm really an intellectual young man. So with that being said, I have some very interesting scripts. He's saying he has some interesting scripts. He's also done some acting. I'm wondering what Kodak Black could bring to the table with 50 Cent. You know, 50 is allegedly doing a movie about the beef with, or not a movie, but a scripted series about the beef with the game. There had been other rumors about different scripted series about rappers. Maybe Kodak Black but maybe Kodak Black could actually be a story. Maybe the Kodak Black situation could be a story about an artist that got signed and then he got arrested quickly after that for an armed robbery or something, whatever had happened to Kodak Black. Maybe that could be the basis of a story. Wow, P Money says it was pretty good. I ended up watching the whole thing. So, how was Kodak Black's acting ability in that, man? How much acting did he actually do in it? I'm wondering if 50 could potentially either. uh, Kodak is at an age where it's kind of like the 50 Cent movie, Get Rich or Die Trying. You know what I mean? It's kind of like the Get Rich or Die Trying shit because 50 was at the age where he could play himself, where he could play Marcus. So Kodak Black is technically at the age where he could play himself. I like the idea of it, man. 50 can make a lot of money with this shit. But I mean, Kodak Black is at the point where he's doing a lot in music right now. Does he really want to go do the acting at this point in time? I mean, if you look at Lil Meech, you would have to believe that he would be able to blend it and become a bigger star with it. But normally, when an actor or when a rapper, I should say, leaves the business, when a rapper leaves when he goes into being an actor, he usually leaves the rapping business, as we saw Ja Rule say. Ja Rule, for some reason, went on a whole campaign when he was dropping his fourth album, telling everybody he was going to quit rapping and start acting. It's like, what? Why are you making a plan like that? You can make so much off of albums, and you know what I mean? Look at what we saw 50 Cent and Eminem do while they were actually recording their films. They were recording in their tour buses, or they were having studio situations right there that were easily accommodating. You as an artist, you need to have your as an artist, you need to have your streams of income. You need to have your ways of getting your streams of income. Don't limit yourself. Don't limit yourself. So, and look what BMF has done for Lil Meech, man. It's really taken him to the next level. I really am looking forward to seeing the next part of the series, but also I'm just interested in seeing what happens with Little Meech's career in general. What's the next interview? Oh, I got a couple dope interviews lined up, man. Couple dope interviews lined up, and a couple ones that I've reached out to set up as well. But I also just dropped a new interview with Brick Boy Dior from Florida. Really dope artist, man. It's on my page right now. You should go check it out. Oh, he wasn't in it. He just invested. I could have sworn I seen him actually in one of the thumbnails. I say yes, he's been working. What about the next watch along? The next watch along? Huh. The next watch along. I've been thinking about the next watch along. I've been doing a couple interviews as well. I'm always staying busy when it comes to this hip hop shit, you guys. And then we always come on here to report on the news that's going on. I mean, shit, Soulja Boy just gave us a layup today, going on and spazzing out on his Instagram live. You know what I mean? Like, wow. Like, I didn't know if I would ever get to report on one of these Soulja Boy spaz out sessions, because he was really doing it before I jumped on in front of the camera and shit. And let me just say, he was doing it a lot more wild back then. This time he was actually only asking for songs. You know what I mean? Let me see. Soulja Boy gave Chief Keef his credit. He gave Chief Keef his credit for actually doing a song with him afterwards, but I heard they were going to do more. Soulja Boy had earlier said that Chief Keef was supposed to sign with him. Chief Keef actually in an old interview said, "I'm fitting to sign with SODMG." Little B had jumped on the Bang remix, and Chief Keef respected it at this point. Chief Keef said that Soulja Boy was going to be jumping on the 300 remix. Yeah. But Soulja Boy went back in on Lil Durk. He said, all the people need to do is look up Lil Durk, Soulja Boy, Lil Durk, Eater. This man's first mixtape. I'm talking about nobody knew who he was. Now he got a record deal. Where's my feature back at? When you was in the hood, when you were unsigned, I was doing features with you for free. Wow. He really went in on him right there. Where's my feature back at? When you was in the hood, when you were unsigned, I was doing features with you for free. Jesus, man. That is absolutely crazy. Little Dirk really putting it all on the Little Dirk. I mean, working with Soulja Boy back then, and now Little Dirk is expected to do a feature when he's the hottest thing in the world with Soulja Boy. Soulja, man, it doesn't really work like that all the time, man. What you're talking about is literally probably 10 years ago. You're literally talking about 10 years ago. And if it wasn't 10, it was 9. So it doesn't really add up, to be honest with you. Where were you when Dirk's second album, Lil Durk, 2 times flopped and sold 13,000 copies first week? Where were you then when the world thought it was over for Lil Durk? Where were you when nobody believed that Lil Durk was going to be able to put on an artist like King Von? You know what I mean? You can't just pop up out of nowhere and be like, hey, I'm here. I'm here. I did that song with you called Eater one time. It's just kind of irrelevant at this point, man. Like I said before, like I don't think anybody even remembers that song that y'all did together. Look what Kanye West did. Kanye, yay, big yay, dropped your 16 or 12 bars or 8 bars, whatever it was. He dropped it from the Donda album. That's what is said about Soulja Boy's verses this day and age. You know what I mean? That's why we don't remember the Eater song. I'm sorry, we don't remember it. Lil Durk even promoted This Ain't What You Want. You know what I'm saying? It's arguable that he might have cut Soulja Boy off of This Ain't What You Want. Big Draco. Next watch along. I'm going to have to think about that. Big. What up, Bada Bada? Well, no, Bada. The thing is, Soulja Boy went and worked with all these guys when he just thought that they were talented. You know what I mean? He found the Migos, Travis Scott, Chief Keef, Lil Durk. He found them to be talented, and that's why he worked with them. You know what I mean? It wasn't even about money back in the day. That shit wasn't even about money back in the day for Soulja Boy. It was about, you would think it would be about Soulja Boy trying to find the next hot talent to sign, but no, it was more so just about Soulja Boy putting up some videos on the internet to keep his name relevant. But listen, I want everybody, if you're not subscribed, subscribe to my channel right now. If you're not subscribed, subscribe right now, you guys. Don't ever miss this dope ass content that I got for you, man. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you're always tapped in. Make sure you're always tapped into these lives, you guys. Make sure you don't miss these shits. Chase Moolah, I appreciate you for tapping in, bro. Major salute on the tap in. Definitely appreciate everybody tapping in tonight to the live podcast. Kodak Black wants to work with 50 Cent. Now Kodak right here said, my man said that Kodak actually invested in the series. I thought he was actually in the series, as a small role, but maybe he invested in it. But here, from what Kodak is saying, he is writing. He said he has some interesting scripts. So maybe, my dude, maybe Kodak actually wrote some of what the series was on YouTube. But nonetheless, he says he has some interesting scripts for the likes of 50 Cent, for the likes of Tyler Perry. I'll read it one more time. He said, I got movie ideas I want to pitch to Tyler Perry or 50 Cent. If you know me and can see past the internet annex, then you know that that I'm really an intellectual young man. So with that being said, I have some very interesting scripts. I hope 50 Cent takes heed of this. I hope Tyler Perry too, because Tyler Perry has one of the biggest studios. You know what I mean? I hope Tyler Perry will put Kodak Black in something. You know what I mean? Give him a chance to blossom out. You know what I mean? To become the celebrity that he needs to become. The whole world is for Kodak Black, man. This dude, this dude, you can just tell Kodak Black has a lot to offer the world, man. Don't know if it's going to be in acting. You know what I mean? Maybe it will be. We'll have to give him an opportunity to give it a try. I mean, shit, look what T.I. is doing right now. T.I. said he didn't like podcasting and now he's doing comedy. You know what I mean? So let's just leave everything open when it comes to these artists. And you got somebody like 50 Cent. So every role that you're going to do isn't going to be so cookie cutter. You know what I mean? You know, when you're getting involved with a 50 Cent project, you're actually coming to some, you know what I mean, realistic shit. When you're getting involved in a Tyler Perry joint, you know that you're going to be doing some real, you know what I mean, theatrical shit, whether it's some dope ass comedy, some quirky ass shit. You know what I mean? So I think Kodak Black has a lot to offer the game, man. I look forward to see what he does over the next few years, man. Keeping his nose clean, you know what I mean? He actually just asked, I guess, to get off early probation, which is a little bit crazy. You know what I mean? He literally just got out of jail. He got pardoned like a year ago. So I guess he kept his nose clean and now they're going to ask for the official release. Whatever, do what you're going to do. Do what you're going to do, Kodak. He's got the lawyer. What's the lawyer supposed to? The lawyer is there to work. You know what I mean? When you got a lawyer on retainer, what is the lawyer there for? He's there to work. Kodak has been behaving. He's been behaving the last year, besides a couple different things that I heard of that I'm not really going to mention right now. But now he has the intentions of moving, I think, moving out of Florida. Obviously, California might be in the sights. Obviously, California might be in his sights, you guys, because he's talking about all these movies and shit like that. Let me enjoy this good kush, you guys. Got some good kush. I got some good Red Bull. Every day you got to start off with some good kush and orange juice, you guys. Remember that shit. Start off the day with good kush and orange juice, but let me bring it up. Let me bring it to some open questions now, you guys. Let me bring it to some open questions. Let's get in the if anybody has any questions for the show, I always take the open questions at the end of the podcast. Just so you know, I'm thinking about doing a live call-in. You guys. So stay tuned for the shows for that. If you're ever interested in doing a live call-in in the future with questions, live call-in questions to end the show potentially. Sometimes I'd like to have people come in here and spit some bars as well. It's got to be a cappella though. But we'll start doing that more as the channel continues to grow. You know what I mean? Because we're really just getting started. I plan on doing this shit for like the next 25 years. You know what I'm saying? I plan on having a long, long career in this shit, man. I love the game, man. It's pretty much been my whole life since I was like 10 years old. I've been doing this shit. You know what I mean? Then 10 years after that, I started getting involved in filming shit. You should go check out my interview with Bizarre. You should go check out my interview with Bizarre from D12 or Easy the Block Captain from the Bel Air show. Yep, T.I.'s doing stand-up. T.I.A. means T.I. T.I.'s doing stand-up now. I watched a little bit of it, man. I wish I could find like a full 15-minute set just so I could give it a real and a real opinion. But I've watched a tiny bit of it. It doesn't seem too funny, so that's why I want to see something more along the lines that's like 8 to 10 minutes, something I could really give a valid opinion on. You know what I mean? To see if Ti is actually funny. Because I'm more of a Ti movie guy. You know what I mean? Takers. Ti doing movies is actually pretty dope. So I think he should jump into more films and shit. Obviously, Ti has a bright future, whatever he does. He said in podcasting that he made tens of thousands of dollars off of it, but he actually wanted more. Yeah, man. I appreciate y'all, man. I appreciate everybody for tapping in. Major salute. I'm gonna check on the poll. I'm gonna end this poll, you guys. I'm gonna give y'all one more chance to vote. Do you think 50 Cent will 50 Cent work with Kodak Black on films? I'm gonna give y'all about 60 more seconds to vote in that poll if you want to. You guys can vote yes, no, or sign him with G Unit / Sniper Gang. If you think he should do, wow, nobody thinks 50 should do music with Kodak Black. Very interesting. Very interesting. Well, Kodak is hitting him up on the movie tip. You know what I'm saying? Kodak is actually hitting him up on the movie tip, saying that he's got a couple scripts. I would like to see Kodak Black as a leading man. I would like to see Kodak Black in a TV show, something along those lines, you guys. We'll have to see what happens in the future. But listen, everybody tap in tomorrow night. I'll be back tomorrow night live. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel. If you're not subscribed to the channel, subscribe right now, you guys. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of these videos. I'm going to put up my Instagram right here. If anybody on here is not following me on Instagram, I'm going to put it up. Y'all can follow me for a follow. Everybody that follows me on the gram, I'm going to follow you guys back. Wow. So it looks like I'm going to give you all 30 more seconds to vote in the poll. It looks like it's 59% says yes and 41% say no. So it's looking like yes. I hope we see 50 work with Kodak. I mean, shit. 50 worked with 50 worked with 50 actually worked with 6ix9ine back in the day. So why can't 50 work with Kodak, you guys? Let's be real, man. Let's be real about this. Why can't 50 do a damn show with Kodak Black? Let's be real. So I appreciate everybody who tuned in tonight. I hope you enjoyed the conversation. I got in that topic about Kodak and 50 making movies, TV shows together. I hope it happens. We'll have to wait and see. But we also discussed Soulja Boy, going at Chief Keef, Lil Durk, the Migos, and more. You know what I mean? I actually wanted to touch on back in the day when Soulja Boy spoke on the fact that he was supposed to sign Chief Keef as well, but Chief Keef ended up signing to the $6 million deal we all know about with Interscope. Chief Keef actually had done interviews saying he was going to sign with SODMG as well, but then went on to sign the much bigger deal. And then, of course, Lil Durk's associate, or artist, I should say, BOOKA600, kind of blasted MEMO600 there. Zoo went after him hard body, but Memo was a little subliminal with it, man. Everybody's sort of been going after MEMO600 after this alleged chain snatching. Now, in the Zoo video, they did have a nice shiny chain. Maybe that was Memo's. Maybe it was something that they bought from one of them spots at the mall. I don't really know, man. I don't really know. These guys aren't really the type of dudes who really do interviews like that to be 100%. Would you, man? You know what I'm saying? I've actually tried to reach out to Memo600 for an interview. You know what I mean? Figuring since I've linked up with several other people and shit like that. Yeah, some of these guys you just really can't get in contact with that easily and shit like that. But you know, I'm going to keep on trying to make shit happen here for the channel. So it would be dope to speak with guys like Memo or even FBG Cash or, you know what I mean, BOOKA600 or any of these guys. I'm not going to limit myself to who I can speak with, y'all. I really do appreciate everybody for tapping in tonight, man. And like I said, if you're not subscribed to the channel, subscribe right now. Make sure you hit the notification bell so you never miss one of my live videos so you can come on here and talk shit with me on the internet, man. I definitely respect everybody for tapping in tonight. Had a lit audience, man. Y'all make this shit worthwhile, man. I'll see y'all on the next one tomorrow night, y'all. I'll see you back here tomorrow night. Major love.